BST5, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 5s in the history books. Shout out RBE. Let's talk about it. I got to the event right after the first battle. It started between Easy, the block captain, and Trax. I missed Easy's round. It was a 1 round. So from what I heard, I had Trax winning 1-0, but that's biased because I didn't get to hear Easy spit. So I can't really call that, and I can't really comment on it. Don Dollar versus True Foes next up. Another 1 rounder. Don Dollar started. He went first. This was kind of a weird battle in a sense because Don had like more crowd reaction, I would say, for some of his certain bars that he spit. But he did have a lot of like dry spots. Like he would fluctuate with, you know, something to hit, like, oh shit, that was fire, and then it's just like that awkward cricket moment, you know what I mean? And he did choke at one point. He choked for a significant amount of seconds. I can't really remember the timing of it. But he did recover, and he started off again. From what I do remember, though, he's finished his round kind of like on like a flat point. It wasn't anything like too energetic, too crowd moving. So his round where he did have some good moments, he had to choke, and he ended kind of on like a downward monotone side. True Foe, this was weird, man. This dude was spitting for the longest. Like it kind of sounded as though he was just spitting one long ass bar setup forever before he actually hit with a punch. Like you were just waiting, like you were just hearing him spit, hearing him spit, hearing him spit. He's just saying stuff, but it was just like there was all these like setups for the bar with zero punch at the end of it. You were just like waiting for the impact, but it just never came. He must have spit for shit, man. I can't really tell you time. I want to say like a solid like 2 minutes maybe before you actually heard one crowd reaction. Oh, okay, or even a or couple of head nods. Like he was spitting for the longest with zero crowd reaction. But once he did hit with that first one, he just steadily picked up a little bit. He didn't have crazy crowd reaction throughout his entire round, but it was just steady, consistent material that kept you, you know, listening. But it didn't have you like jumping out of your seat. But just, I guess, off like consistency and how his round pretty much progressed from being like super just leveled, and then not like crazy like elevation, but you know, just steady, slow rise till the end. I guess I would give it to True with the dub for that one. Floss the Boss versus J Murder was the next battle up. I would guess you could say like on the main card. You know, if this was like a UFC fight or a boxing pay-per-view, whatever the case, there's, you know, the undercard, the prelims, and then the main card. So J Murder and Floss the Boss was next up. Floss spit first. Like I said in my prediction thing, he's got that kind of like 730, like, yo, I'm like psychotic kind of like visual look to him when he spits, and he gets real loud. You know, Loud Boys, he verbally, like, you know, in reality gets very loud when he spits. But it's very, very entertaining, highly entertaining stuff from him. He's really animated, good stage control and everything. One thing J Murder was doing the entire battle, for me, like I've said numerous times, I'm not a fan of it. But you know, battlers do it, and unless there's something in the contract that says you can't do this shit, there's nothing to stop him from doing it. Murder had, I don't even know what those things are. Those like little, it's like a little circle thing, and then it has like this little piece coming out here, here, and here, and you like spin the shits. I don't even know what they are. I just see like all the new kids got them or whatever you want to say. But Murder had one of those on stage, and he was just holding it and just spinning it the entire time Floss was rapping, just spinning this thing and balancing it, and just, he was doing a lot to pretty much distract the crowd in the building from what Floss was saying. So there were times not even in front, like I'm watching Floss, but there's fucking little spinning thing just like right next to him, and you just can't help but look to Floss, and then just you're looking at Murder sometimes. So he did an effective job the entire battle of distracting the crowd from what Floss was saying. Murder's first was solid, super aggressive, angry, tone of voices he usually has. When he picks up his energy, you know, a lot of energy, and like I said, with his raspy ass deep voice, it translates well in terms of just moving the crowd. I think, not entirely sure, but I think that when the footage drops, fans watching from home might say that there was some, you know, home team, home field advantage gas in the building for some of the stuff he was saying. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he's, you know, the favorite on RPE, and you could definitely see the crowd, the home crowd was fucking with him, Team Hami and shit. So, while Floss had a great first in the building, that energy just kind of got disrupted by what Jay Murder did during his round and what Jay Murder was able to bring from the crowd in his first. Round two, I remember Floss in his second round, he had like that little myself, talking to myself, that shit, like he spit that in this battle, and it was a little bit awkward to me, that the delivery and just the energy received and presented, it was a little bit like, it's kind of like weird. It's kind of like when Marv won and Quest McCody battled Cheddar Cheese and Carter Deems, and Quest was, I fucking hate cats. Like that shit was kind of weird. And then he was reading the letter to Carter and Quest and just mad, like timid. It was just like awkward presentation. That part was kind of awkward for me. And I felt as though the second round for Floss, it was like one of those up-down kind of roller coaster rounds, kind of not necessarily like Don Dollar, but like in terms of that, where just certain things hitting and certain things just kind of fall off. It was one of those where it was just a lot of like roller coaster fluctuations. I think Murder was still spinning that shit, and they started to get really aggressive with each other. I think it was in the second round. Murder and Floss, I don't remember who started it. You know, battle rappers a lot of times these days don't have a sense of proximity, and they don't have any boundaries when it comes to proximity. So motherfucker will be in your face, and the next thing you know, he's poking your chest and, you know, shoulder checking you and elbow dropping and all that shit, headbutting niggas and spitting on people's face and shit. So Murder and Floss, and I think it was the second round, they started like getting into like a little like low-key shoving battle where like Floss touched Murder during his round, and Murder like smacked his hand away, or like he pushed him with the forearm. Like I think he did like twice, like get off me type shit. And then Murder got more aggressive with Floss in his second. And in my opinion, Murder started to get, I said this in the prediction blog I did, where he kind of can get overly aggressive and he gets overly hyped, and then it takes away from his delivery, and even sometimes can make him black out and just forget his shit. He didn't forget his shit this time, but it just, you can be aggressive, but when you over aggressive sometimes, it kind of fucks it up. And I felt as though his round was a little bit choppy because he was getting overly aggressive. And he was like touching Floss in a certain way. And Floss was like, because Murder did it to him, shoved him like 2 times. So Floss pushed him, and Murder swiped his hand down. And then Murder got back up in his shit, pressing up on him. Floss pushed him, swiped his hand down. Like, it was like on some shit where it's like, yo, bro, like, y'all are 2 steps away from throwing hands. You know, they didn't. They kept it cool in the second. Third round comes, and I remember Floss was spitting, I think it was in the beginning, and Murder just like burped mad loud. Like he did it like twice, burped dumb loud. So it's just in the microphone, so you just, so whatever Floss was saying, you just kind of got mad distracted by Jay Murder burping dumb hard, and people was laughing at the burp rather than listening to what Floss was actually spitting. Then after that, Floss was looking to the crowd. He wasn't even looking at Murder this time, and Murder went behind his back. I don't know why he did this. Just my personal opinion. No shots to Jay Murder, but like, I'm not about to, like, I'm kind of weird with like sharing like bottles and shit with people. Like, you know, when I was younger, you a teenager, you going out drinking, you in Central Park, you on the block, whatever, and you got the bottle and shit, you gotta just, yeah, sure, you throw it back, but like a water bottle, whatever the case, like I share that with my chick, I share that with my mom. I'm not about to be drinking from a random dude's thing. So, but Murder was doing it as a sign of disrespect and stage control and just like, he's my son kind of thing. I get it. But like, what he did was he went behind Floss's back while Floss was rapping to the crowd, and he looked at Floss's whole crew, and then he just went down to where Floss's water was, and because instead of grabbing his own water, he grabbed Floss's water. He didn't put it to his mouth, so I say that. He just let it, like boxing, you just pour it up from a distance, and he just drank from Floss's bottle, put the bottle back down, looked at his crew, and then went back to his side. So I get it. He's showing, like, I run this shit, I control it, but like, I was just kind of thinking, like, yo, why are you drinking another man's water? I get it. You disrespecting, you showing, I run this shit, but to me. I just personally, germ wise, like I don't know where you been last night, homie. I don't know where you been 5 minutes for the battle. I'm not about to put, you know, chill. That's just me. But he was disrespectful as fuck. And again, he knew how to really take away from what Floss was doing. And that shit took away a lot from what Floss was doing. Like, you were just kind of focusing on how Murder's going to disrespect him during Floss's round rather than listening to all his bars. One thing that Floss did do, he had a hilarious like portion in his third where he, like, the J Murder's FTW fuck the world, and he said some shit. I'm not going to say it to blow it up, but it was mad funny. Like, that shit had everyone cracking up hard body. That was funny as shit. But J Murder, when he started spitting, like I said, that over-aggression came in again. He was up in Floss's shit. Floss pushed him, Murder, swipe down, pushed him again, swipe down. Then Floss, I think he really got tight, like, yo, don't fucking touch me. Like, kind of like balled his fist for a second. And Murder was like, what's up, though? Like, and then you seen fucking Team Homie people rush up onto the stage, Showoff, push through, you know, the back of the crowd. And the Loud Boys, they was already there on Floss's side, so they just posted up. But it was like, oh shit, and ARP actually had to get in and, you know, hold on, fellas, hold on. They actually, for a second, almost got to shaking. And by then, it wasn't crazy to the point where it was like Math Hoffa and Showoff. Like, you really was like, damn, son, it's about to be a rumble up in the spot. But it still was tense. So I think I spoke to, it was knowledge, hip-hop. Hip-hop is real. And after the thing, we was both kind of like, yo, like, that shit's hard to call, bro. Like, there was so much extra shit on stage that kind of took away from who I could really say won or lost. I will say, in the building, for me, I can't really call it, man. I need to see that shit again. It was too choppy, too much extra shit, tension. But I will say, in the building, Murder had the home team advantage. People was going more crazy for Murder in the building. From what I could hear from a general crowd response, Murder got it in the building. For me, though, I gotta see it again. It's too much extra shit, man. Next up, Swave Seva versus Heavy Half. Again, I repeat, and I prove true to this. I'm not biased when I watch battles. I said in my prediction, even though I don't really like doing predictions, but in my prediction blog for this, I said, yo, I rock with Swave. Been a fan of Swave since I was like 18 years old in college and shit. Grind time era. Team Homie all day. I got Swave winning 2-1 over Heavy Half. In my personal opinion, I had Heavy Half winning, watching the battle. I said if Swave loses, I'll call it. And in my opinion, in the building, I had Heavy Half winning 2-1. I remember Mike P was in the vicinity where I was at for pretty much the entire event. And Mike P said the same thing, you know, 2-1 Heavy Half. A few other people said 2-1 Heavy Half. I'm not sure if Fettuccine 20 came at that time. But I remember Mike P was like, yeah, 2-1 Heavy Half. Swave's first, he came out wigging, in my opinion. First round from Swave was super fire. Like, he just was spitting street gutter shit, hard punches, and he was punching back to back. Like, everything he was saying was, it wasn't just like sometimes Swave says that shit and you just head nod. He was saying some shit where you like you was dead, like, oh, like reacting like vocally. Like, his shit was hard. His first was hard as fuck. And I was like, damn, son. Heavy Half's gonna have to come with a lot to beat that. That was one of those rounds where it's like you about to just take that X on that round, like you're not coming back. But Heavy Half made that round super debatable because he started off like slower, still high energy and shit like that. And the thing with Heavy, man, when he was spitting, he would just keep that energy up. It wouldn't just be like some people fluctuate too much and they go fast, hard, and then they just kind of slow and try to talk. But it's like, nah, bro, once you hit that gas pedal, just keep going. The Heavy Half, he just kept doing it. He hit that gas pedal and he would just go. His first round, he picked up later in the round, and he picked up and was just wigging later on in the round. But I still really like Swave's first. I don't know. It's debatable. It's debatable. Swave started his second round, or I don't know if he started it, but he said at some point in the second round, something about Heavy Half, like, you might have grown up in this area, but now you live in like the suburbs. Like, he's like, I'm still in the grit. I'm still in the grind. Like, my white neighbors is like money bags. That shit was wild funny, son. Wild funny. But Swave's second round was all right. For me, he had some good shit. Swave was getting, he wasn't really upset, but he was just kind of like, Swave don't really get mad. He just kind of be like, come on, son, like kind of like, kind of just looking at the crowd like, y'all suck, like, you know what I'm saying? But he's not like mad, but it's just kind of like a swag about it, like, get the fuck out of here, like one of those, like to the crowd. He felt as though a lot of people were sleeping on his shit. Second round was good, but I felt as though there were certain flat points for me. Again, he says that a lot of people were sleeping on his shit. Maybe I slept on some of his bars, maybe some shit that was overhead I didn't catch. I'm not gonna toot my own horn and say I get everything. Sometimes shit, I'm like, who knows, you know? But I felt as though heavy half got the second, and Swave in the third, he was spitting some shit, and a lot of his bars were slept on. I will say that. He was getting the heavy half for, you know, looking like he's like, you know, a dude fresh off the boat from Africa and shit like that. Shit was pretty funny. Heavy half was spitting some hard shit, especially early in the third round, about pretty much the meaning behind his name, heavy half, and how like he got the name from like surviving some shootout and like some real like deep hard shit. Like I said, me personally in the building, I had it 2-1 heavy half, even though I was expecting and wanted to see Swave win. And it's one of those things though, again, I spoke to other people after, and there was Mike P was saying 2-1 heavy half, other people saying 2-1 heavy half, other people also saying 2-1 Swave, and then there was other people saying, yo, one of Angry Fans homies was there, and he was like, yo, I gotta see it again. You know, it's one of those things that was too hard to call, so I gotta watch it at home before I could even make a judgment. It was one of those type of battles. It wasn't a clear this or a clear that. It's one of those things where Swave want to say he got it, he could say he got it. If heavy half want to say he got it, he could say he got it. Swave, salute to him. He came up to me in the crowd after the battle. He said, yo, Mike, what's good, man? I know you're gonna keep it 100 with me. What you thought about that? And I said, he's like, who you think got it? And I said, honestly, bro, I had you winning going in, but I think he got you in the building 2-1. He was like, see, that just goes to show that people wasn't catching all the shit I said, because me personally, bro, I thought that was an easy one. I thought I got it, no doubt. I said, yo, you have every argument to make, brother, because it really wasn't clear. And I do know people were sleeping on some Slave shit, so maybe some shit he said that didn't get the type of reaction should have in the building will get picked up on can. It was a good battle, though. Very fun battle. The main event, Big K versus JC, went next instead of waiting until the very end of the night. Round one, Big K jumped it off. He was spitting. Standard Big K. Standard Big K, just wigging out. Punchline after punchline, bar after bar, doing what Big K does best. However, JC came out in JC versus Chef Trez fashion. He came out just spitting that, like, God-level JC shit, where everything he spits, from punchlines, haymakers, setups, everything, you know, vocal projection, timing with how he spits certain words and what way, and bodily movements. His first round from JC, it was like, it was funny. After like 3 bars from JC, fans are already like 1-0, 1-0. Like his first was, he was wigging out, and Big K, like, you know, Big K, he be doing those faces like, the fuck, yeah. You know, but nah, son, JC's first was fire. And after, like I said, the first 3 bars, people were screaming 1-0. I remember Born was like 1-0 after like the first 2 bars from JC. And Mike P was like, nah, fuck out of here. Give me 30, I need 30 seconds. 30 seconds before I say 1-0 for JC. 30 seconds later, Mike P was like, yo, 1-0, 1-0. So 1-0 JC. Second round, Big K started his round. Again, it's all in the building. Fans were yelling, fight back, fight back. And you know the drill. When a motherfucker screaming fight back, that means the dude that you're going up against is putting that work, and you got some work to do because you're probably falling behind. So fans were starting around for Big K, yelling fight back. Big K came out with a fire rebuttal, did his thing, got a nice crowd reaction. He kind of switched up. I think it was in the second where he started putting more like jokes into his shit. I remember JC was saying in like a post-battle, post-event interview about how Big K had too many jokes. Big K did have a lot of jokes, but the shit was fucking funny. Shit was funny as fuck. And he had jokes with bars. Not like he just was just straight, yo, just jokes. Nah, he had jokes with bars. And like I said, the shit Big K was saying in terms of jokes were hilarious, son. Hilarious. You are just a baby. That's, yo, he was funny as fuck in his battle. But I had it where in the second round, JC kind of stylistically and delivery of what his material was kind of switched up more. It's one of those things where his second and third, I need to see on the camera. Because in the building, the way he was rapping for In the Building is one of those styles where you're going to lose the attention span. And some people, we're all human. I think it's like scientifically proven that people only have like a solid 15 to 45 minutes attention span before their mind really just starts to fucking wander everywhere. So that's why a lot of times when kids are in hour-long classes and the shit is boring within the first 10 minutes, best believe for the next 50, we're not going to be paying attention to what you say. You know what I'm saying? We're all human. So JC's, the shit he was, the way he constructed his round, the attention span, it was hard to really tune in 1,000% to everything he was saying. And just energy-wise, in terms of the way he was delivering what he was saying in the second, it kind of, it tapered off from what the first was. Because the first, he just started off already on Mars. So if you're not going to go from Mars to fucking Neptune or some shit and you're just going to fall back to Mercury, you're going to have a little problem, you feel me? You got to keep on progressing. Just go farther out into space. You can't come back to Earth. So he kind of came, you know, traveling back to Earth a little bit in the second compared to his first. So second round, Big K, I had him, as did Mike P. And one dude on Twitter said Mike P always roots for the white boys. Chill with the racist shit, ain't nothing like that. Mike P, me, Born, and Fettuccine 20s all in the same squad right there, just chilling watching the shit. And we all said, yeah, 1-1 after round 2. Round 3, Big K was spazzing in the last round. He was wigging the fuck out from bars, jokes, you know, little jab punches, little crosses, bow, 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 crazy haymakers. Like, Big K was spazzing. Straight facts. JC, solid shit as well. JC's never really bad. Was he phenomenal like he was in the first? So like I said, the way he was, the second and third, the way he was spitting and the way he constructed his rounds and the way it was performed and delivered, it wasn't one of those, it wasn't rounds for the venue, so to speak. It's like it is for the venue, but it's more for the camera. You'll appreciate what he said in the second, third more on camera than you would in the building. So in the building, K turned the battle around, losing the first clearly in the building to win in the second and third, pretty clearly in the building, pretty clearly. A lot of people were going nuts. Oh, get the fuck out of here. I can't imagine. There's no way that Big K beat JC. There's no way that JC lost to Big K. In the building, bro. In the building. Facts. My opinion, along with everyone else who are also battle rappers that were around me and other fans that we just were standing around that we heard talking, JC lost 2-1 in the building. We'll see what the footage shows. I could definitely see it changing on camera because there was shit JC said, like I said, more geared for the cameras, but we'll see what happens. Big K 2-1. O-Red versus Showoff was next. And damn it. That was a rough night for Showoff, man. Really rough night for Showoff. I felt bad for him, honestly, watching this shit. Like, it was one of those things where, like, Jims, shout out to the Dirty Squad, man. Jims was to my left. He was chilling. And he was watching this shit, and I would just look to see like how he was reacting to some of the shit, and Jims at times was like he was literally like putting his head down and just there like, it's like one of those things where you're a little kid and you like, there's a scary part, you're like of a horror movie, you're watching with your pops or some shit, your moms, or just like your older sibling, and they're like, yo, cover your eyes, and you're like this, but you kind of still want to see it, so you're just like that, but you don't really want to see it. It was like that. Like Jims was really... It was bad, man. It was bad. I've never seen Showoff get done this dirty. Like I said, Jims need to be tagged in for the cleanup squad because O-Red did Showoff so dirty in that battle. It was crazy. Showoff can recover. He can recover. But if he ain't die in that battle, he's like in a coma. He was left in a coma, I would say. It was bad. And I guess you could say he didn't die because Red choked in his second. First round, Showoff spit first. He lost the coin toss. O-Red was kind of like, oh shit, I never won a coin toss or some funny shit like that. I remember Showoff did have a bar where he said something with Sue Surf and something about, you know, it was like a scheme of, you know, being sick, spitting medicine shit, and then Sue Surf was in it, and sue the feds. And I remember O-Red was like, Conceited said that. And I even thought, like, once he said it, not even with O-Red telling us Conceited said that, I was like, Conceited. I was thinking, Conceited bar. But, yeah, so he spit that. He didn't say it in the same way that Conceited said it, so we give a pass on that. It was for the scheme. I get where he was going with it. Showoff did have some greasy ass, like, Sue Surf locked up bars. I remember that shit was pretty hard in the first. It was a solid first from Show. But one problem with him throughout this entire battle, and I've noticed in past battles with Showoff, and in the past, I'll keep it a buck, Showoff before has spit his rounds for certain battles. It was like maybe 1 or 2 battles for me before the battle went down. One thing with him over time, maybe it's that he does it more so now, or just that he's done it for so long consistently that we just notice it more. But I talked to Jims about it after the battle, and I said Showoff fluctuates with his speed and tempo too much, you know. And like when you're going, you know, slow motion, you know, just to warm things up, to you before you do a workout, usually, you know, if you're smart, you're gonna stretch, you know, you're gonna do a little warm up, stretch your muscles, get your shit warmed up, maybe jump a little rope, do like little shadow boxing, do some little shadow boxing, take it light the first 1-2 rounds, and then you might pick it up a little bit, get your body, you know, accustomed to what's about to come forward with the hard work ahead. So it's like, it's not like you're just gonna go mad light and then go mad hard and then go mad light again. Like, nah, once you get in that zone and you going, you know, you ain't go 0 to 100, you went 0 to 40, and then you go 40 to 100, you're gonna stay at that pretty close to that 100, you know what I'm saying? Not really gonna slow down. Showoff's problem for me, a lot of times he'll go 0 to 20, not even 40, you go 0 to 20, and then boom, he'll shoot up to 80. And then boom, he'll shoot back down to 15. And then boom, he'll shoot up to 95. And bang, he'll shoot down to 10. Like, it's just too much of like the speed, tempo, and just like vocal projection fluctuations that fucks it up for me. You know, you can't get me mad hype, oh yeah, and then just want to just take me back to a walking pace and just stroll through the park. Like, nah, bro. Once you get that sprint, that Usain Bolt, you better keep that shit. Like, don't turn down after you just turned up. You're going to turn up and get the energy up. Then you turn down, you're going to bring your energy back down. So then you have to work harder to bring us back up to where it was. Like, Red has been the problem for the longest, man. But one thing with Red, like, Red is a dude, when he goes, he goes. It was the same way when we just saw him versus Ab. This was a more polished Red. He might have had like 1 or 2 little like stumbles on his words. He did, also he did choke in this battle. But still, like, just the material he had and the way he crafted and delivered it, it was Red versus Av, but even more savage. He didn't argue about time limits, RBE, ARP, even though Showoff is the home team. He let Red go for as long as Red was spitting. But Red's been a problem for a long time. But one thing with Red, in my opinion, he's been a guy that, something about his style, something about his visual appearance, or whatever the case, that he's a dude that's always had to work harder to obtain certain recognition that his peers, whether it be Jersey peers or just the overall, you know, veteran class, gets. And he's a dude that back in the days, he was on a tear. He was just battling and just killing dudes, fucking people up, and then boom, he just kind of like stopped. I don't know if it was the league stopped booking him or he stopped looking to accept battles or whatever, but he took some time off. And in that time off, because he's a guy that's always had to work harder to achieve certain types of recognition, it's like fans forgot what he can do and how good he really is. So he lost a lot of momentum and a lot of just like hype behind his name. It's not like a Sue Surf will take mad time off and people just, for some reason, Sue Surf just got that kind of it factor where it's like, Surf is back. Like, yes. It's like, Red's come back. All right, let's see what he does. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some people don't really appreciate what Red can do and how he can fuck people up in that ring. And Red would just go, he might start, you know, 0, speed up to 15, and bang. Once he's at 100, he ain't slowing down. And that's what the way he crafted his rounds, he was just killing Showoff, like, on all fronts. He started his first round with a translation, fire. Red's in his 3rd round, he, like, really cooked Showoff in the third with, like, his third was just like, his first and his third were so savage that, like, his first round was pretty much like put him up 2-0 already. The only reason you could say that Showoff got saved from dying and he's in a coma is because Red choked in his second for a good while. He choked for a while. He got his shit back. But the thing is that when he got his shit back, material-wise, Red had way better material than what Showoff did. You know what I'm saying? So technically, he won all 3 rounds, but I'm going to go by the automatic. You choked, you dropped yourself, and you lost the round. So second round, he lost it. But material, I'm going to keep it 100%. He had way better material in the second. And his third round was a body bag round. His first and his third were like a 2-0 round in one. So he kind of technically beat Showoff 4-1. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give, obviously, for the second round, he beat him like 4-1. It was crazy, B. And his third round, he got at Showoff for the whole, you know, I'm a the contract killer. I never signed a contract, blah, 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 blah. And he kind of really did it in a smart way where he put ARP in a bad spot where how you going to look right now? You're going to clearly show that you're biased for your home stable battler representing your brand. Are you going to lie in front of me and in front of this crowd and say that this man ain't signed no contract? Or are you going to just have to swallow your pride and just look at and talk to Showoff after like, I'm sorry, bro, but I had to keep it official and fair and keep it honest and say, yeah, he signed a contract for this battle. So he kind of just killed Showoff for the whole, I never signed a contract. It's like, motherfucker, you signed a contract for this battles. What are you talking about? You signed contracts probably in the past for RB. You feel me? He killed him with that. To conclude, I think he went like a bar or two too long where he could have stopped it earlier. But there was a part in his third where he was getting a Showoff for recycling his own material for certain battles in the past, for other battles he has later on. And he was just like, yo, you joined Dot Mob and already T-Rex is rubbing off on you. Like, you already recycling your bars. Like, when I say he just mopped the floor with Showoff across the board, it was crazy, B. It was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. O-Red second, the only reason Showoff ain't died. But at the same time, people can still say Showoff died. I'm going to say he's in a coma on, like, the last bottom level of life support off of this one. He can bounce back. We've seen people come back from the dead, zombies, no disrespect, but prep. We've seen other people come back from the dead. Showoff can come back, but he needs to really revamp his blueprint of how he spits. No more of that slow talking, I'm going to try to sound like a gangster. Oh, yeah, and I'm spitting that real shit, and I'm just talking to you down the street. Fuck that, bro. Ain't nobody want to hear the gangster street voice in you. We want to hear you spit that shit. Go from 0 to 100 and stay at 100. Stop fluctuating and taking away the energy, period. And craft your shit a little bit differently in the future. I don't know. If you go up against another type of O-Red in the future, Showoff already knows he got to revamp some shit. Because, whew, Red did him dirty, man. Dirty. Next and last up, QP versus 40 Bars. This battle, if I'm being perfectly honest, this battle was ass. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna keep it 1000%. This battle was trash. And the problem is that it was literally the last battle of the night. The event was probably supposed to have been done by, let's say, whatever time frame RB had to use the venue. The event was probably supposed to be done like an hour prior or 30 minutes prior. But the venue was like, all right, you can extend your time and shit like that. And people been standing there in the building for mad long. So everyone's restless. I already just talked about people's attention spans being this time to this time, blah, 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 blah. So this battle was not good. And QP, and I even said this in my prediction thing, I was like, look, man, across the board, as in terms of lyricism, yeah, QP know how to spit that shit and whatever. He's complex, spits matrix, you know, calligraphy, fucking computer coding symbols going down the screen. He spits that type of shit where you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And if you take the time to break it down, you know, watching it in a computer, or you can replay it 3-4 times, you'll catch everything he's saying. But for a live battle, you're just like, bro, what the fuck, like, what are you trying to say right now, you know? And he doesn't spit in a way that gravitates towards entertaining the crowd. He spits in the same way that he's always spit, where it's just like delivery wise, his delivery, if I'm being honest, on the scale from 1 to 10 is like a -3. Like, he just doesn't know how to deliver and perform for the crowd. And then he want to be up there getting upset and frustrated with us for not reacting and being critical. Like, he just kept getting mad, visibly frustrated that the crowd wasn't catching shit. I'm like, bro, if the crowd, it's like a writer. I learned one professor I took, Gregory Wilson, salute to him. He's actually a published novelist. I took his class like 4 times, English class, because he was like the best professor, teacher I probably ever had in my life. And he just really taught you about how to write a story and really polish it in a way that gravitates towards what the readers want to read, what they want to imagine, what they want to feel when they read it. You know, it's not just about what idea you have in your mind that you think is good. It's about getting into putting yourself in the mind of those that you're trying to come across, that you're trying to impress, that you're trying to send your message to. Just because you might think that you understand it like this doesn't mean that everyone else is going to understand it. Start crafting your rounds thinking, okay, if I'm sitting as a fan and I'm not thinking about the shit that I'm thinking about when I'm putting the pen to this paper, crafting my rounds, if I'm sitting as a fan trying to understand this, are they really going to get this? Nah, okay, let me rewrite it like this. Like, you can't just think because you think the shit is hot, everyone else is going to think it's hot. You have to think about what the audience is going to want to hear, is going to understand. And he never, I could honestly say QP never puts himself in the shoes of the audience, in the minds of the audience. He never does. So he's angry and he's frustrated that people don't get what he's saying. That's your fault, bro. 100% facts is your fault. We don't know what the fuck you talking about because you don't take the time to actually think about how you can get your message across to us in a more coherent and entertaining way. The point of battle rap now is not about being a gangster on the corner and getting that street cred that, yeah, I really deck people. Yeah, I really do sell cocaine and heroin. Yeah, I really do smuggle guns and shoot dudes. Nah, bro. It's entertainment. Battle rap is in the performing arts industry now. If you do not know how to perform your art, get the fuck off the stage. Period. Don't get mad at us for not understanding. Get mad at yourself for not crafting your material in a way that we will understand you. Straight facts. So he was pissed off, blah, blah, blah. He was getting crickets. And like I said, no one wanted to hear shit. People was leaving, you know, and people just wasn't focused to really catch what he was saying. He did say one thing in the 3rd round. He spit like, I think he got his first reaction in the 2nd for 1 bar. And the best bar that he had was in his 3rd when he spit some bisexual show. What was it? Yeah, it was a rebuttal. And he spit a bisexual bar about Showoff. And that shit was actually pretty hard, and that hit hard. And that was like the only real reaction he got. Like, that shit was actually hard as fuck. No disrespect to Showoff, but that shit hit hard. Other than that, it was crickets. The best part of his whole material was when he tagged in Clean. Clean was there on stage, and he tagged in Clean, and Clean spit some shit, taking shots at, you know, various battle rappers that I guess he's interested in facing. And that was the best part of QP's shit. I'm sorry, it was when he tagged in Clean, and Clean spit his shit and actually moved the crowd. That was the best part of QP's entire 3 rounds. That and the Showoff rebuttal. 40 was spitting, and she just, 40 honestly had, she didn't have to come like Super Saiyan mode for this. She could just come like Krillin powered up, and she would have won, and she did. You know, she was like Krillin, like after he maybe had spent like a year preparing for the arrival of whatever the fuck, like, you know, he yeah, like that. I'm not gonna go on to my Dragon Ball Z, you know, history and shit, but she was Krillin powered up, you know, fighting the Cybermen. I'll say that. You know, back when Nappa and Vegeta came to the Earth, and Krillin was actually one of the last OGs banging out. She was Krillin. She wasn't Super Saiyan 40. Not for this battle. She had good shit, but I'm just thinking, like, from what I've heard from her, this was nothing too crazy. She had some good shit. It was a solid 40, good 40. But you could tell that she honestly, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because of who her opponent was. She didn't have that, like hunger in her voice and in her energy and in her presence. Like, she was just spitting, and you know, she was stumbling several times throughout the battle, you know, and she was even saying she was stumbling. Oh shit, I'm sorry, I'm fucking up. Like she wasn't even in battle mode. She was just saying like I'm gonna spit, you know. And I think it was the third round. Like I tuned out in the third. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I tuned out, and not just for him, for her too. I was tuned out. But then I remember I was talking to Jims about Showoff and Red, and then we just kind of like got, wait, what happened? And because she was like, you know, she choked, so that kind of caught her eye. Oh, she choked in the third. But then she spit like maybe not even a bar, like 2 lines after that, and it was over. And you might click on it if you're a fan of 40. You just want to see some battles, you want to hear some shit. Maybe you might want to click on it to see if you could decipher what QP was saying. But like overall, I had fun with the event. Battle of the night by far, JC versus Big K. Sway versus Heavy Half was really dope too, really dope too. And so was J Murder and Floss. I just have to watch it on camera to get myself out of the tension that was in the room. That was a good battle too though. And Body of the Night, Old Red versus Showoff. And honestly, man, it's early. But I'm gonna go on to win. I'm no disrespect to Showoff, man. You know you a cool ass dude, bro. 100%. But I'm gonna be honest and say that Old Red versus Showoff could be candidate for just beat down. I'm not gonna say body bag, but beat down. Like top 5 beat downs of the year. I'm gonna say that right now. It's early in the year, but I'm gonna say top 5 beat downs of the year, Old Red versus Showoff. But yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 5 in the books. Until next time, holla at y'all.